What's going on, guys? Radio Graffiti here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Smile 2. Now, when I seen the first Smile movie, I thought it was just in preparation for Smile 2, but honestly, after seeing Smile 2, I think you could watch this movie without seeing Smile 1. It's kind of the same movie as Smile 1, as far as, you have this woman who witnesses somebody commit suicide, and then they start having all these weird hallucinations, and they think they're going crazy. They don't know what's going on with them. Then later on through the movie, they get answers, and they try to defeat it, and then it ends up, spoiler alert, it ends up not working, and they end up dying as they traumatize somebody and or somebodies. We'll get to that part later. So it's kind of the same formula as the first movie, but I think this movie did it a lot better. Like, I actually really cared for this character. And I think a huge part of why this movie works so much is because of Naomi Scott. She's the main actress of the film, and boy, does she carry this movie on her back. Her acting is absolutely fantastic. She was working like her rent was due. She was going for that Oscar nomination for this movie. There's so many scenes where she just has these major freakouts and meltdowns, and she's just crying. There's snot coming out of her nose. She's bleeding. She's chugging down fancy looking bottles of water. The girl is just killing it in this movie. Literally. So yeah, a huge part I think why the movie works, Naomi Scott. She earned every penny of that paycheck for this film. As for everybody else in the film, I think Joshua, he plays her friend in the film. He was pretty good. Everybody else I thought was kind of just, pretty standard. Nobody else really stood out as far as the side characters go. I think the movie starts off a little slow because there was a good chunk of time where I was just kind of waiting for her to learn the rules that we all already knew. Because most of us have already seen Smile 1, so we know the rules, we know what's gonna happen now. And we're kind of just waiting for the characters of the film to understand that as well. Then she gets a anonymous text message from some guy whose brother used to be a victim. He has this whole monologue where he's just feeding her all this information. He's just giving her the whole Wikipedia backstory about the entity and what it does. I thought it was kind of lazy, like they kind of just speed run through the whole investigation process, but I wasn't really complaining because I was ready for the movie to already start kind of popping off and getting going. So really after that is when things start really escalating, when she really understands just how serious her hallucinations actually are. And then of course by the end of the film, it's sort of predictable when you look at it. You're like, okay, the entity is possessing a famous celebrity singer. What would be the best case scenario for the entity? Of course, she kills herself in front of an entire audience, traumatizing them all. That's too predictable, right? Surely they won't do that. And then that's what ends up happening. And my biggest problem with this is it's kind of like, so basically a whole hour of this film didn't happen. Because she has that scene where she's wearing the little butterfly dress and she's talking about, oh, you can see my scar through here. And she's like, I'm not fucking wearing it. But then we get a whole rest of the movie after that, and then it just kind of cuts to her at the end when she goes to the concert. And it's like, wait a minute, so you're telling me basically the entire movie didn't happen after she puts on the butterfly outfit? Or did it all happen and the entity just kind of teleported her there? But wait, that doesn't make sense because her mom's alive. And wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because she was injured and she's like a wanted criminal by police now for the investigation of her mother's death and for pointing a gun at a security guard in the hospital. So apparently none of that happened, which kind of gives me a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. But I mean, I still enjoyed the film overall. It was a really good movie. It's very scary, very creepy, and very unsettling. It had tons of moments where I was kind of just looking at the floor. You can feel a jump scare about to happen. Like when the guy who kills himself, he's on his phone and he's showing you something scary going on in his house. And I just kind of just stared at the floor for like the whole 2 minutes that was going on because I just knew something was going to pop out of nowhere. So props to the movie. It had me scared here and there. Can't say that about every horror movie. I'm not a big horror movie guy, but this movie was pretty great. It also did a pretty good job of making us care about the actual main character who's going through this. Because we're not a celebrity ourselves, but we can still kind of feel pity and feel bad for her because it feels like nobody really cares about her as a person. They just see her as, like she says in the movie, a dancing monkey. Somebody who's just there for everyone else to be constantly successful and benefiting off of her talent. Seems like not many people really care about her as a person. So I was rooting for her to beat this entity, and I thought the guy that she ends up meeting had a pretty good idea as far as, I need to stop your heart and see if that will get the entity out. And it sucks because I feel like that plan could have worked. I guess she just waited too long to go forward with it, but Like I said earlier, I don't even know if any of that was ever real. I don't know if he ever even existed in the first place, or if it was all just in her head. But yeah, so I really like that part of the film. She kind of embarrasses the first girl from the last movie, just how amazing her performance is in this film and how much you really care about this character compared to old girl from the last movie. It's like Smile 1 was more of a slow burn as you're learning the world and this universe and the rules of the entity and how you could possibly defeat it. And in this movie, it's more about how many scary situations can she get put in? How can she try to overcome it? Because last movie, she tried to overcome it by overcoming her trauma. And in this film, she tries to defeat the entity by trying to kill herself for a couple of minutes to get it out of her. And wow, Smile 3 is going to be crazy, isn't it? She kills herself in front of an entire audience of fans. And wow, that really gives them a whole lot to play with for Smile 3, doesn't it? Seems like basically the entire world's about to get set on fire. I don't know how they're going to defeat this thing. This has become a serious problem now. And I'm sure they're all going to remember Skye killing herself, but they're not going to realize just what exactly that means for them. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Smile 2. Really enjoyed the film. Takes a minute for it to kind of get its feet off the ground, but once it does, it starts flying. I really enjoyed this film. I would recommend it, which is saying a lot coming from somebody who doesn't even really like horror movies. But these Smile movies are pretty interesting. I like them. So yeah, have you guys seen Smile 2? What did you think about the movie? Do you think it's better than the first one, or do you think it's a little bit weaker? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time.